Hi everyone, welcome back to Lifting the Lamp. I'm Frate Eleftheria, and this week's video is a little bit different. I wanted to do a Celtic Cross Tarot reading because there's been a lot of questions circulating about the case of the missing scientists in the US, and I really wanted to understand what was going on there. So I've done a tarot reading of that situation, which I'm going to present now. And I thank my wife for the cinematography that went into that. And another thing, there is now an official publication date for the Voces Caelesti, and that is the 21st of May this year. So excellent news. And I'm sure that many of you are keen to hear when that date would be. So that's it. There's just one thing that I need to troubleshoot with you all. So quite a few of you have signed up to my mailing list to get updates on the publication of the book. And I did send an email out relatively recently to let people know the publication date. However, it seems to have been going into people's spam. So I encourage you to check your spam folder on your email to see if the email's there. If it is, then just open it and ask the email to stop recognizing emails from the list as spam in future. So it's an easy fix, and it makes sure that you don't miss out on hearing about upcoming news on the Voces Caelesti. Now, on to the video. Enjoy. Hi everybody. I'm going to be doing a reading tonight because there's a question that I want answered. There's been some stuff in my feed quite a bit recently about the missing scientists in the US, and it seems very suspicious. So I wanted to do a tarot reading to get some information on that, see if I can shed any light on that situation. Something very mysterious going on, and I want to see what's behind it. So I will begin by just stilling my mind and ask that these cards give me true answers to my questions. All right. So I will just shuffle the deck and restate my question in my head. Get a read on the situation with these scientists. I'll be doing a Celtic Cross spread tonight. May need to fast forward this bit, but that's okay. Celtic Cross spread is a 10-card spread, which is absolutely great for giving detailed answers to questions. Alright, one final card to draw. Right. We now have our spread. The next step will be for me to turn it over and see what we've got. So the nature of the query is represented by the Empress. And for the purposes of this reading, I'm not going to be doing upside down cards. So the Empress is about, it's not a card I would have expected for a reading like this, because it is a card that is associated with fertility, with the beginning of life, with new birth. So what that tells me is something new is being born. And that is what is linked to the disappearances and loss of life of these scientists. Whether that's I don't know, an agenda, a project, a period in history, I'm not exactly sure. But that is very interesting. And then related to that query is the magician as well. So the magician is, well, it's like a scientist, really, this card. The manipulation of reality, the manipulation of matter to bring about a result. The 4 elements are represented here. The tools of a magician, which in today's day and age may very well be the scientist's tools, the scientist's lab. So there is the beginning of some initiative, some scientific, technological initiative, and that is what is related to the disappearances. That is not what I was expecting. Okay. Very interesting. Okay, so the immediate past, well, the 8 of Swords. I'm not surprised to see that. To me, that represents hostile intentions. This person is a hostage who is escaping from imprisonment likely in the castle behind them, navigating treacherous terrain to escape their captor, and doing it blindfolded, so in the dark about some aspects of the danger that they're in. So well, I mean, don't need tarot cards to tell you that, but there's definitely a hostile actor at play in the events in the past, immediate past, that are to do with this project. And the future is the High Priestess. So this is interesting now, because we have card number 1, card number 2, and card number 3 in the spread together. So the query card is the development of the future card, and the future card is the development of the card that qualifies the query card. So to me, what that says is that this project is something that is designated for the future, some very forward-looking project, where the results won't become immediate until much later. I mean, perhaps a number of years to do with technology, but the research aspect of it perhaps starts now. And the High Priestess card is also very much to do with manifesting reality. Well, the beginnings of something new, the conceiving of something new. And the 2 pillars in the High Priestess card, for some reason, just remind me of like a particle accelerator for some reason, or a magnet, a large magnet with 2 poles. I'm not sure why I'm getting that association. But it can also be to do with intuition and peering into uncharted territory with our perception. So that's the reason for the association with intuition. So yeah, looking into uncharted territory, some kind of technology, and something that radically changes things. In terms of what is in the unconscious domain, we have the Chariot, and what's in the conscious domain is the King of Pentacles. Okay, so the King of Pentacles is the businessman, so perhaps there was some kind of commercial application to this technology, potentially, but it's about travel. So it's very scientific, it's about travel, it's about new horizons, and it seems like magic, and it's forward looking into the future, and we've got aerospace engineers and nuclear physicists who were working on it, and a guy who could see if there was water on other planets. So to me, this is obviously something to do with space travel. To me, that is starting to look pretty clear. I'll just consider some of the other meanings of the Chariot card. No, that's what this is. So that's the Chariot card, right? So that's the King of Pentacles. And that's, the businessman or woman, the Chariot. The thing that I'm immediately struck by in this card is the canopy of stars overhead. So he's a forward-looking figure, and he's got the stars overhead. So to me, and he's got the zodiac around his belt. So to me, this is to do with space travel. The inner state, moving from something in the past. This could be to do with the realms of life and death as well, because the Six of Swords is actually the ferryman carrying somebody across the river Styx. So that could be referring to that aspect. Outer influences. This is the Nine of Cups, the John Travolta card. So this looks like a promising card. Something looks like an opportunity, but things might be too good to be true, so to speak. Hopes and fears. This is very much a dream. It's like finding the Holy Grail. That's how important this is to the people that are involved in the project. So, some kind of scientific breakthrough that we've been working on for a while. It would be as if somebody discovered nuclear fusion tomorrow. That kind of a breakthrough. And then finally, we've got the Ten of Pentacles. So, another Pentacles card. So again, we see the monetary aspect coming in. I think that money was the thing that soured the whole operation. Thinking about money and whose bottom line would be affected. So that doesn't give me too much information about whether the missing persons are gone or who might have taken the ones who were deceased. I might just draw some more cards. Okay, so this is a card for what is the reason for the deceased being gone? We've got the Pentacles again. Well, that's really disappointing. It's all about money. Money, money, money. As with everything evil, I suppose. Just about. So it's a new business venture. It's a business opportunity. there's new horizons, but there's also the flower of death growing in the garden. So, very curious. I'll draw one more card. And then there'll be too many clarifying cards after that. Well, this is the Eight of Cups, so that's the card of disappointment, which is hardly a surprise, because it is disappointing for something like this to be thwarted in this way, this kind of a project, to face these kinds of obstacles. But my guess would be that there's some technology that's involved, which if it were manufactured to scale and put on the market, then that is going to not be in the best interest of certain corporations and certain industries. And that could be the reason why the scientists are gone. Which is not the answer that I was expecting at all. I thought that it was something to do with a foreign power or something like that. That's really surprising. I'm not quite sure what to make of all of this, but you've borne witness to what I've seen. This is something I have to think about a bit. It's not immediately obvious to me how it all fits together, but that is my reading of the situation with the scientists. There's some stuff in here about technology to do with space travel and special interests with a lot of power and a lot of money on the line, who perhaps are the ones behind all of this activity. So that's my reading of the situation. I hope you enjoyed it, and I guess hopefully we will get some more elucidation into what's really going on at some point in the future. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel to support my work, hit the notification bell, hit join with thanks to support me further, and join my mailing list if you haven't already. Any comments that you have, please leave them down below. But thank you again for listening, and I'll see you next time.